There we go. It looks like I have a little juggler there in the background. You're going to have to teach me how to do that. So can you unmute them, please? Can you unmute yourself, guys?
I was practicing putting myself in caregiver shoes.
Yes, I saw that you did that one day. I think that's absolutely fabulous. I'd like you to do that again and tell them what you were doing.
Yeah.
Absolutely true.
Yes. So we were putting caregivers. We know caregivers have to juggle their schedules 24/7, and if something gets thrown in the mix, it can just totally destroy a day.
Yep.
Not intentionally, but this is a caregiver's life, and we hear that, and that's what we're all here for.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Spinning plates and juggling.
Yep. That's right.
Schedules.
Exactly. Well, I'm so glad you're back here today. Everybody had rave reviews yesterday, as always. Oh, we learned this. Oh, we found out about this. Oh, I have something that can help my mom. It just brings me such joy.
Yes.
All right. So what do we have today?
Okay, today we're talking about things in the bedroom for safety, for dressing, different things like that. So as long as you're ready, we're going to get started.
We're ready.
All right. So first up, what we want to do is just show, yesterday we talked about the bathroom. We wanted to show real quick, if somebody is on a front wheeled walker, we wanted to make sure that especially sometimes the bathroom doors are about 2 inches in width to make this possibly go through the bathroom door. You can change the wheels off and put them on the inside of the walker. Now, this doesn't mean you need to get a wrench and pull the wheels off. All it means is you just take the wheel off and you swap sides. So basically you're going to just swap sides just like this. Now let me actually click these so we don't fall off here. Just like this. And then when you go through a doorway, this is going to give you another 2 to 3 inches because the wheels are now on the inside of the walker. So just to quick clear, swapping the wheels from side to side, you don't have to actually physically take them off with a wrench or anything like that. So that's very beneficial. Now, speaking of the bedroom, one of the things that we always talk to our clients about as far as safety, especially when you come home, if you come home from the hospital, brought somebody home, they're weak or they have an injury, the bed is a difficult area, and usually it's too high. So if the bed is high, what we would like to do, if we can, is to try to bring the bed down to them. Now, some options you might have are if you have the bed, the box frame, or the box spring on a frame, sometimes the frame legs will swivel and they will reduce in height. So you may be able to lower it that way. You might actually, I've had some clients, and including myself at one time, actually ordered a lower profile box spring. So instead of the regular 6-inch, you can order a 4-inch. And you might want to consider that if you have a mattress in your near future, depending on the height of your bed. Now, if you cannot bring the bed down, if you take the bed and the box spring off of a bed frame, most of the time, if you set that on the floor, it's going to be too low. So I did see with a client, her son took it off the frame, but he put it on 4x4 deck posts. So he just got, several 4x4 deck posts, cut them to the width of the bed, set that box frame and the mattress right on top of that. It was a perfect height. But if you cannot bring the bed down, you need to bring your person up to the bed. So one of the cringe-worthy points in a home health assessment is when you have the client go into their bed and they start to climb up on one of those very small stools that are about this big, but they're about 8 inches high. They're the plastic ones, and their base of support is very small, and they're stepping on the edge. And so what I recommend for that, instead of a stool like that, I really like this. So this is basically an aerobic step up, okay? And you can get these from some of the big box stores. The thing I like about this is they usually have a couple of levels of risers, okay? So you can adjust the height. This is going to be wide. This is going to be stable for a step up. And sometimes, depending on the height of the bed, you can actually adjust this height and put this back edge right under the edge of the bed to give you a little bit less distance this way, front to back. So this is aerobic step up. If you use something like that, I always recommend the use of a bed rail along with that. So, you know, it doesn't have to be anything major as far as the bed rail. This is a very common type of bed rail here. And when you get a bed rail, it usually comes with something like this. Now, this piece here slides between the box spring and the mattress. So it will go in like this. So here's your bed rail. And then if you look here, it also has this strap that it goes around the end of this piece over to the other side of the bed, around the bed frame, so that it secures it. So if you happen to have somebody in a wheelchair that is getting out of the wheelchair and using this to pull up as they get into the bed, we don't want this sliding out from between the box spring and the mattress. So that is what this piece right here is for.
That's great.
Some of these have adjustable legs that sit on the floor. Some of them are just this L shape that just have the rail and just slide into between the mattress and the box spring. Now, the other thing I want to tell you about a bed rail is don't underestimate the good things that a bed rail can do for you. When I address this with my clients, typically they will be like, I don't need a bed rail. I can get in and out of bed. But what I see is when they go to get up, they're trying to raise straight up out of bed. They're grabbing for the sheets. They're grabbing for the headboard for that bit of assistance to get on up. So once we put a bed rail at what a difference makes, it's not that they have to pull and tug real hard on it. It's just that hand placement that allows them that little extra oomph to get up out of bed or into bed on their own. I did that with my mom after her hip surgery. She didn't want it. She wanted to say absolutely no. But once we put it on there, she didn't want to give it back to me. So it was a good thing for her. Bed rail. The other thing we also have here, this is kind of a product all in itself. This is called the step to bed. So basically this is like a step. It's also like a rail. It has a nice platform. This step to bed will adjust from, I believe, somewhere around 2 inches up to 8 inches. So it's got a nice adjustment height in it. And it also has its own motion sensor light, so that when you bring your feet off the bed, the light kicks on and you can see
Nice.
there. Okay. Now, this is not advertised as a bed rail. I meant to look on their website. I believe that they've got something that's Velcroing this to the bed frame now. So typically, I mean, actually you could use it for a little bit of assistance as well. But very nice piece of equipment there. The only thing I would say with the step to bed is you need to take a look at the measurements on it and make sure that you have the width next to your bed and then out to the wall, especially if you're on a walker, because you want that pathway that your walker will fit through there while you're getting into this or getting into your bed. Okay. The other thing with the bed, if you have a loved one that is having trouble getting their legs into the bed, you may want something like this. This is basically a leg lifter, but this is a little bit different. It's just a 2-in-1 leg lifter. It's a leg lifter and an exercise strap. This is called the ProFlex. Now, what does this do? It actually allows the person to grab their own foot, use their arms, and actually lift their leg up onto the bed, lift their leg into the car, lift their leg if they're sitting on the tub transfer bench that we were talking about yesterday, lift their leg over the tub, in and out of the tub, things like that. Now, this also acts as an exercise strap, and I actually was the one that developed or designed this because I was wanting something for especially for my hip and knee patients. So I wanted a leg lifter, but I also wanted an exercise strap, and I wanted them to be able to use it with both hands, so that when they were using, so that the typical leg lifter is together like this. I didn't want one-handed use because it puts an odd pull on the leg. So we opened it up, made it a 2-in-1. So this is called the ProFlex strap, but this is very helpful. Leg lifter is very helpful, allowing your loved one to be a little bit more independent in regards to getting their legs in and out of car, bed, bath, those types of things. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Oh, and speaking of motion sensor light, I know we talked about that yesterday, and I know we talked about the joy that the toilet motion sensor light brings us, but I wanted to mention again, this little gadget right here, I really, really like. This is called Mr. Beams, and this is a standalone motion sensor battery operated light. A lot of my clients say, oh, I don't want a motion sensor light next to my bed because every time I turn over, it turns on and it keeps me up. So what we suggest is taking something like this freestanding, put it underneath the bed so that when your feet come down, the light comes on. And then it gives you this nice shine in your path as you're standing up there with it, so that you can securely stand up next to your bed.
That's great.
Okay, so that is motion. All right, let's see here. Oh, I wanted to mention, speaking of a light next to the bed, being in home health, I have had many people actually have a fall out of bed because they were rolling toward the lamp that they had on their nightstand. If you have a lamp on your nightstand, or if your loved one does, that needs to be well within reach of them without having to roll that direction. It's a very high fall risk. So take a look at that. Anything on that nightstand, TV remote, cell phone, anything like that, that needs to be well within reach so that they don't have to roll toward it to get to it. Okay. All right. I wanted to mention again a bedside commode, just as a safety thing. If you have a loved one that has to rush to get out of bed into the bathroom at night, consider a bedside commode at bedside so that they don't have to do that sprint, which increases their fall risk. Okay. All right. Next thing we're going to point out is we've got a product here that's called the AFO Assist. Now, an AFO, that stands for ankle foot orthosis, and that is this little brace right here. You may see a few different designs in this, but this is to help people that have lost the ability to pick their foot up. So sometimes after a stroke, you may have something called foot drop. So an AFO is that type of brace that is used. A lot of times, depending on the person's ability, they have trouble putting this brace on themselves. So a friend of ours, an OT friend of ours, had a client challenge her to come up with something that would allow him to do that and give him a little bit more freedom as far as him getting his brace on. So this portion right here is the portion that you're going to set the brace in. So this is all sitting on the floor with you in a chair. So this holds the brace while you actually put your foot in, and you can put the straps around the brace as it's in here. Then once you have this part done, you're going to take the part here. Now, typically when I demo this, and we have a demo of this on our website, I set this, the foot portion of this, or the shoe portion of this, up against the wall. So it gave me some leverage there. But this holds your shoe. We have what we call a foot funnel attached to this, which acts like a shoehorn. And this holds your shoe while you are putting your foot into the shoe. Okay. Now, let me show you this foot funnel. Love this too. Again, this is, can you hold that for a second? This is like a shoehorn. So basically what you do is you stick this in the back of your shoe. You can slide your foot in, and then you've got these strings here. If you hang on to the strings, then you can just pull that out. Okay, so that's called a foot funnel, right? Oh, okay. All right, let's see here. Okay, now speaking of shoes, we have some friendly shoes.
Yay!
Yes. Okay, so friendly shoes, this is one set. They are adaptive shoe wear that come in wide and double wide sizes, and they actually allow you to access the shoe from a zipper, either from the side of the shoe right here, okay, or actually that's considered the back of the shoe. Yeah. And then I've got some on myself here. They're actually from the side of the shoe. So this allows me to access my shoe from the side. This is very good for braces, for orthotics, for things like that. People that are having trouble with swelling, this makes a good set of shoes. Again, it comes in wide and double wide, but that is Friendly brand shoes. They've got kids shoes, they've got adult shoes, men's and women's, lots of different styles and fashions. And
Yeah, and they're very light.
yeah, they're very light. So
durable.
yeah, very, very good shoe. All right, let's see here. Now, one other thing I wanted to talk to you about is a reacher. Now, this seems pretty simple, but it's amazing what a reacher can do for you, whether it's picking something up off the floor, whether it's assisting you getting dressed. So if you need to grab a shoe, if you need to hold the tongue of your shoe back while you slide your foot in, if you need to grab your pants and pull them up, a reacher comes in super handy. Besides that, they come in all sorts and sizes. You can use a reacher to get something off of a shelf. And I actually use a long reacher to pick up sticks out of my yard so that I am not constantly bending over. Because again, caregivers, it's all about, protecting yourself. It's about body mechanics. And we know a lot of those things you still have to do besides your caregiving tasks. So please protect yourself in the process of even the simple things. Okay. All right. I wanted to point out, this was actually, I was going to mention this under the shoe portion of the AFO assist. And I just wanted to point this out. So this is some rubber backed shelf liner. Sometimes in therapy, we call a material like this or similar to this Dyson. This is very good material if you need something for anti-skid or anti-sliding. For example, if you have to use an incontinence back pads in a wheelchair, you might want to put one of these, a little bit of this underneath it to keep it from sliding. If you have a wheelchair cushion, put it between the wheelchair cushion and the wheelchair, keep it from sliding. If you have a chair that is sliding on your wood floor, cut a little piece of this and put it under the legs of your chair. It'll help. It's not going to take all the slide, but it's going to take a significant amount of the slide. So this is very good. You can pick it up not at the box store, any of the big box stores. It's just rubberized shelf lining. Okay, so this is very good to have on hand for a lot of that different stuff. Okay. All right. As far as shoes, if you are having trouble tying shoes, you may want to look into elastic shoestrings. Okay, so there's all kinds of shapes and sizes and colors of elastic shoestrings out there. They can make them so that you tie them that looks like a regular shoestring, but yet it's got the elasticity that allows you to slide that foot in. They also, like I said, make them in all kinds of different designs. And I don't know if you can see this where I'm getting a little bit dark here, there, but just any type of elastic shoestring will help with putting a shoe on without having to tie it. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Next thing we wanted to talk about is the gait vest that Christy has on right here.
It's my turn.
It's Christy's turn.
I'm the
That's
model.
right. You want to show them what you got?
I've got this wonderful, it's called the gait vest, and it's got handles here in the front, and then it's got one on the back. It was designed by a woman whose mother did not like the way gait belts looked on her. She didn't need a whole lot of assistance with balance, but her daughter developed this so that she could at least have a hand while they walked in the park or if they walked outside. So nobody can really tell that it's a gait vest. So this is actually called the gait vest.
Yes. Yeah. So that was a very good product. And it just allows you to have that style as well as a little bit of dignity, not having to wear a gait belt, not having to wear something that's as obvious that you may need a little bit of assistance.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about the capable jeans.
Capable jeans. I'm wearing those too. I'm a walking billboard, Linda. This is conspicuous consumption right here. So I got the capable jeans on, and these are jeans that are designed for people that are in wheelchairs, but it's also to help caregivers. I'm going to show you something here. So they got a zipper down each side, okay? And then it's Velcroed across the top here. Now I have some shorts on. This isn't that kind of show. It's family hour. So if you unzip here and then unzip here and then undo the Velcro, the caregiver has access to the peri area for peri care. If the individual self-catheterizes, they also have access, easy access as well. And then it just goes right back up here. The zippers are super easy. The back has an extra, the waistband is a little bit taller for those people that are in wheelchairs so that they don't ride down. And the legs have an extra, what did they say, 3 or 4 inches on the legs to show so that your socks are always showing when you're sitting down. These are called capable jeans that come in men's and women's sizes as well. They have a reinforced belt loop on the back too. They don't have any grommets or pocket rivets or anything on there. The concern is skin breakdown and sores. So those are capable jeans.
Capable jeans. Yes, those are very, very nice. Very nice. Okay, so we wanted to talk just about a few things. You know, people struggle at times putting their socks on. So we have several different things. You know, you may have already seen something like this. This is called a sock donor, okay, or sock aid. That's the most commonly called. But what you basically do is you're putting your sock on the end of this. You're putting it down onto the floor and you're sliding your foot in. This allows you to pull that sock on and then go ahead and pull it on onto your foot. Okay, so this is called a sock donor. I didn't even think about bringing a sock down here. We also have this one is similar, but it is a little bit less abrasive. If you have skin heel issues, if you have if you're putting on hose, you might want to try something like this. It's a little bit softer. This other one is a hard plastic, but this is something that you may want to try as well. Now, for those caregivers that have to put on compression stockings, first of all, I want to say I'm sorry because I know what a difficult chore that is. What we would recommend, and we have a video of this. Now, I'm just going to tell you, we can show you these products. You can look at our videos, but in all honesty, the stuff takes time and practice to use. You know, some of the stuff is not easy. You kind of have to get the hang of it. But once you get the hang of it, it makes your life a little bit easier. So this is a compression stocking donor, and this is metal. This is pretty stout. I actually have the compression stocking on here already. But what I do, this is not great for the individual themselves unless they have good range of motion as far as bending over to it, because it's not very tall, okay? But for the caregiver, what I usually do is we'll position myself and I will help my loved one or client get their foot started in this. And then I use this kind of like, I kind of rock up and down like this and take it right up their leg. And as I do that, this stocking comes right off of here and up their leg, okay? Now, again, this does take practice, but using something like this could significantly help you in trying to get a compression stocking on. One thing I'll tell you is when you're looking for this, typically they'll have measurements of the calf, so calf sizes. So you want to make sure that you get a decent size that's going to work for your loved one, okay? But this is a compression stocking donor. All right, now let's talk about a couple of just little things that are out there. Individuals that are having trouble buttoning blouses, buttoning sleeves. This is a button hook. Now, can I get closer to see? I don't know how dark it is, but this is a button hook, okay? Okay, good. And then on the other end of it, it has a little hook. Let me put it down here next to my shirt. It has a little hook that you can actually use for the zipper on pants as well. Oh, wow. So if you're having trouble with grip, strength, that type of thing, this is a built-up handle. You can use this. You take it through the buttonhole. You grab the button on the other side. You pull it back through. Again, I'll tell you can take a look at the video on how to use this type of thing on our website at aecorner.com. But this is very handy, especially if those people that are wearing the button-down shirts that just can't do that, but don't want to give that up. So this is a very good thing.
You suppose that would work on jeans, on the button on a pair of jeans?
I would imagine it will work on a pair of jeans. The one thing I was going to talk about, it should work on a pair of jeans. The only thing is it depends on the size, the size of the button. But speaking of jeans, there are things out there, and I'm going to show you this here. we had a gentleman, it's been several years ago, email us and say that he was about ready to give up on wearing button-down shirts because he had one hand that he could not use, and he couldn't get the sleeve, the cuff on his sleeve buttoned on the good side. So we tried to think about what we could do for him. But what we actually came up with is these little button extenders. Okay, I'm just going to bring this up here. It's a little button extender. A lot of times you use these button extenders, or guys will use these button extenders at the collar of their shirt just to extend it a little bit, obviously. But what we ended up doing is having him go ahead and put that on the button on his sleeve, and it had enough flexibility in it that it allowed him to go ahead and put his, of course, he'd put the affected arm in first, but he allowed him to slide his good arm in, and the sleeve was already buttoned for him. It was flexible enough that he could do that. Something like this also, there are these that are made for jeans. So you may want to consider taking a look at that too. Sometimes they're a little bit of an extension of the material, the jean material, and then another button at the end. So if you have something like that, it can extend at the jeans or the pants as well. So those come in handy quite a bit. Okay. Now the other thing I was going to say is, I'm sure a lot of caregivers out there, think about different types of things too. Velcro comes in handy all time in all types of situations. So if you're stuck with a situation, that might be remedied simply by using Velcro. If somebody, a lot of times our clients are talking about, the reachers, and we're like, hey, where's your reacher? Well, I'm on a walker and I left it in the other room and I can't carry it and can't do this and can't do that. Putting a piece of Velcro on the reacher and on their walker so that they can carry that with them. Sometimes, even trying to do some type of a Velcro attachment for the slacks versus the zipper, all types of things like that. And if you have questions like that, I'm going to also tell you, check with your OTs. If you have different situations, because I'm going to tell you, our OTs are very, very
amazing,
creative.
They are. They
Yes,
look at their
yes.
OTs are able to look at an activity, break it down into the steps that are going to make it easier for you to maintain your independence and your dignity.
Yes. So that is some of the stuff that you can do as far as the bedroom, as far as safety. Of course, in regards to safety, remember to make sure that you have clear pathways. Try not to stack things up in your pathway, especially from the bed to the bathroom. And if you have a loved one that is transferring from a wheelchair into the bed, the best you can do as far as setting up the room, you always want to see if you can have space for their wheelchair so that they can exit the bed toward their strong side, and also have room so that the wheelchair can go in the other direction so that they can enter their bed on their strong side. Okay. Now, sometimes some rooms will not accommodate that, but if you have that chance and have a little bit more of an open space, try to do that so that they're always transferring the best that they can toward their strong side. Okay.
So someone that was listening while they're driving just pulled over and texted me. So I guess they weren't on yesterday. How do they get OT?
How do they get OT? So I would get a referral from the primary doctor, even if it's for, a home safety assessment, something like that. If there has been a decline in function, if the doctor gives a referral, the OT is going to come in and at least see if they can justify seeing the client, but they can still do that first visit to see. And during that first visit, they can talk about different equipment. They can talk about safety. They can do an assessment for the client to see what their needs might be. And then, of course, if it's justifiable with insurance, they may be able to go ahead and extend that and see them for a few more visits.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, ladies. I'll tell you, I was just looking at my step the other day. I used to be a big stepper. Yes. And I thought, Linda, you moved that step here 22 years ago and you haven't used it. And I was going to get rid of it, but I'm not now. I'm going to put it under my bed for when I'm ready when I need it beside my bed.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
You don't do it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
hang
That's
on to
exactly
it.
right. You know, Linda, the other thing I was going to say, and the caregivers might boo me for this, but because we know that you're busy all the time. But when we talk about taking care of yourself, you
Yeah.
need to be taking those few minutes. You need to be taking those few minutes to try to do a little bit of exercise if you can. That aerobic step up, if you just work on step ups and as you're going, just trying to lift your arm and your leg as you go, you would be amazed at what kind of aerobic workout you can get within a few minutes, just raising your heart rate a little bit. Now, of course, anybody that's starting a new exercise program, you need to, check with your doctor. But something like that, even 5 minutes a day, is a step toward that type of taking care of yourself.
Exactly.
Take care.
Mhm.
Well, thank you, my friends. We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a delicious evening.
All right. Thank you. You
Thanks,
too.
Linda.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.